Brilliance Audio presents Stars of Fortune by Nora Roberts, performed by Saskia Marleveld. Dreams plagued her, waking and sleeping. She understood dreams, visions, the knowing. They had been part of her all of her life, and for most of her life she'd learned to block it out, push it all away. But these wouldn't relent, no matter how she pitted her will against them. Dreams of blood and battle, of strange moonstruck lands. In them, the faces and voices of people unknown but somehow vitally familiar lived with her. The woman with the fierce and canny eyes of a wolf, the man with the silver sword. They roamed her dreams with a woman who rose from the sea, laughing, the man with the golden compass. And through all of them, strongly, the dark-haired man who held lightning in his hands. Who were they? How did she, or would she, know them? Why did she feel such a strong need for them, all of them? With them walked death and pain, she knew. And yet with them came the chance for true joy, true self, true love. She believed in true love, for others. She'd never sought it for herself, as love demanded so much, brought such chaos into a life, so much feeling. She wanted, had always wanted, the quiet and settled, and believed she'd found it in her little house in the mountains of North Carolina. There she had the solitude she'd sought. There she could spend her days painting, or in her garden, without interference or interruption. Her needs were few. Her work provided enough income to meet them. Now her dreams were haunted by 5 people who called her by name. Why couldn't she find theirs? She sketched her dreams, the faces, the seas and hills and ruins, caves and gardens, storms and sunsets. Over the long winter, she filled her workboard with the sketches and began to pin them to her walls. She painted the man with lightning in his hands, spending days perfecting every detail, the exact shade and shape of his eyes, deep and dark and hooded. The thin white scar, like a lightning bolt, scoring his left eyebrow. He stood on a cliff, high above a boiling sea. Wind streamed through his dark hair. She could all but feel it, like hot breath. And he was fearless in the face of the storm, as death flew toward him. Somehow she stood with him, just as fearless. She couldn't sleep until she'd finished it, wept when she did. She feared she'd lost her mind, and visions were all she had left. For days she left the painting on the easel while he watched her work, or clean, or sleep, or dream. She told herself she'd pack it for shipping, send it to her agent for sale. And dipping her brush, she signed it at last. Sasha Riggs. Her name on the verge of the storm-wrecked sea. But she didn't pack it for shipping. She packed others instead. The work of the long winter, arranged for transport. Exhausted, she gave in, curled on the couch in the attic she'd converted to her studio, and let the dreams take her. The storm raged, wind whipping, the sea crashing, jagged spears of lightning hurled from the sky like flaming bolts from a bow. The rain swept in from the sea toward the cliff in a thick curtain. But he stood, watching it, and held out his hand for hers. "I'm waiting for you." "I don't understand this, any of this." "Of course you do. You more than most." When he brought her hand to his lips, she felt love simply saturate her. "Who hides from themselves, Sasha, as you do?" "I only want peace. I want the quiet. I don't want storms and battles. I don't want you." "Lies." His lips curved as he brought her hand to them again. "You know you're lying to me, to yourself. How much longer will you refuse to live as you were meant to love as you were born to?